Get your motor running. Head out on the highway.
G'day folks, finally a reason to shoot another video. My PVCX from Fuel Moto in America. What this is, I mean, if you're an Indian lover, then you probably know what it is anyway. It's a new way of flushing the map on your existing ECU instead of having to replace the ECU, or piggybacking is like you do with the Power Commander 5. So this just accesses the stock ECU, I think it's a Bosch unit, and blows away the map that's there from factory with a better one that these guys had developed, Fuel Moto. The product is from Dynojet and they make their own maps, but this one is from Fuel Moto, and I think I like the Fuel Moto maps better from what I read about it, from people that have done it before. So got it. Just if you wondering, it's $50 to ship from America, and it took 12 days to get here to Brisbane, Australia. So now we're going to open the box and have a look what's in the box. And the idea is that with this video I'll do a step-by-step thing of how I did it on the bike. So I'll go all the way through to flushing it, and at this point in time I'm only going to flush it with the stock improved tune. With other words, no bits and pieces on it, no extra pipes, no fuel, no air cleaner, nothing at this point. It's just basically the stock bike with the improved mapping, and apparently it already does a big improvement. So let's get into the box, and the process will be step by step of how I do the whole thing, and then if you want to do it, you have an idea of how it's done, how I done it, and might help someone, never know. Anyway, let's get to it. Okay, so here's what's in the box. That's the box that you guys saw. There's nothing but this in there. So why the hell they have to have such a huge box, I don't know. That's all there is in there. And in this box you had two cables. This is, I think, for the port, for the data port on the bike to connect to. This is a USB cable. Two Dynojet stickers. This little thing, which I don't know yet what it is for, but I'll eventually find out. A little alcohol thing to clean the surface with. 3M dual lock. So this is like a Velcro thing. So it's got, you can glue this on each side and then basically just stick it together. So two of those, and then of course the unit itself. That's what the unit looks like. 3 buttons on the left. You've got the ports here on the side, and then USB connection and 2 screws on the bottom. So that's basically what it looks like. And of course the most important, installation instructions on how to go about it. So I'm going to read that and then get back to you guys on how to do the next step. Alright, good day folks. So I've done the not manly thing and actually read this thing before I started doing anything. Found out that it is pretty useless and also out of date. It talks here about an RZR model that doesn't even look like a motorbike, looks like some sort of vehicle. Maybe the slingshot model, I don't know what it is, but it's pretty rubbish because it's got nothing to do with bikes. It also doesn't mention anything about what I actually need to do next on the bike, which is do the ECM read. So what I had to do is, after I read this and I found that this is pretty useless, I found out that this is actually pretty outdated, and the latest one is on the Dynojet website, but even that doesn't tell you exactly what you need to do. Fuel Moto sent me an instruction with the email when I placed the order, and I had a look at that, and it talks about getting a screenshot of the vehicle info screen which has some CMP files on it. But in the meantime I also found out that even those instructions are complete, because you actually need to do an ECM read that transfers an STK file from the bike onto your PVCX, which you then need to email. So neither this nor the Fuel Moto instructions tell you that. And just a day later and an email or two later I found out what I need to do next. So pretty piss poor, all the instructions so far. Anyway, so I'll show you what to do, and let's get on to it. So the first thing you're going to need to do is find the port on your bike which, as I said, that instruction doesn't even talk about a bike, let alone an Indian. So if you don't know where your data port is on your Indian, it is on your left side, the same panel that has the air shock adjuster, and this is it. It's normally plugged into here. I already pulled it out, and that's the data port that you have to plug in your PVCX, and we'll do that in a sec, and then you see what needs to be done next. Alright, so what you need to do is obviously plug this into the top port here on your Dynojet. Then have your fob close to the bike, because you need to turn the bike on and you don't want the thing to turn off on you. Then plug this port in there, turn the bike on, go to vehicle info here and get to the part where it says read ECM, and that should then transfer the file from the bike onto here. So let's do that. Yeah, here it is. So it's under vehicle tools, and then the bottom one says, it says vehicle info, then it says diagnostics, and then read ECM. So the bottom one is what we need. So scroll down with the top button, you scroll down to the read ECM, you press that read ECM. The read will take 15 minutes. Press OK to continue, read, press cancel to return. Wow, 15 minutes. It's ridiculous. Anyway, let's do it. So I guess the top one is the one that you confirm with the tick. So now it's flashing away and reading ECU. It actually has a nice readout that shows how fast it's going, and it's 1% done. 1.3, 1.4, 1.5. Well, I guess we can skip to the bottom here and get to about 99. So I'll be back to you guys when this is at 99. Incidentally, I asked whether I need to hook up a battery tender because these processes take so long, and they said no, it should be fine. The headlight's obviously not on, so it's a fairly new bike with a fairly new battery, so I should be fine without having to hook up a tender for it. But you can, if you have an older bike where the battery isn't that crash hot anymore, you might want to hook up a tender before you do this. So there we are, getting to 99% now. And I've repositioned the camera and zoomed in a bit so you can see what's happening. Come on, zoom, you bastard. Here we go, 100%. Read and saved successfully, press OK to return. So that's it. So now it's done. And here we go, all done. So now you just unplug this thing and go to your computer and get to that SDK file. So we'll do that next. Okay, so I hope I'm not blocking your view there. So what we're going to do now is get to that SDK file. I'll show you how that's done. Some folks have a few years on their clock that ride Roadmasters, so they might be a bit scared of computers or something like that, so that's why I'm doing this, so you can see exactly what happens when you plug in the PVCX into your computer and how to get to the SDK file. So first things first, you got to take the port cable off. Just press that button and pull it out, so that's cool. So that's fine, that cable we don't need. Now we need the other cable, the USB cable. And probably don't even need to undo this. And the USB port is down here. So as you can see, this connector here can only fit there, nowhere else. So you plug that in the right way. Cool. Once that's plugged in, you plug the PVCX into your computer to get to the SDK file. Once you plug it in, computer recognizes that some new device has been connected. Sometimes some shit pops up here that you can just go to the folder. Here we go, it does it automatically. So it loads it mounts as another drive, just like any other device that you connect to. So here's the PowerVision on F drive on my computer, and that's all the files that you see there. So there's actually quite a few. Okay, it's 2 days later now, those 4 files that I've sent to Fuel Moto, apparently they couldn't work out which one was the one that I needed, and there should have only been the one. So that's all stuff that got preloaded by Dynojet for one reason or another, and none of those files are required, so they should all be deleted. There is a format feature on here, so if you find the right section you can go in there and format this device, which means it basically deletes all files and it's completely empty before you start the process. But the other way to do it is to plug it into your computer and simply copy all the files off there and keep it. So I'm gonna just copy all the files off here and keep it, because I just like to keep shit, and it's not very big files, and just in case one of those files is needed for whatever reason, I'll have them, so I won't just blow them away. I'll take them off here and put them on my computer, and then this is empty, and then I can repeat the ECU readout process, which is the process you would have seen. It takes another 15 minutes, of course, and there should only be one SDK file on here, which I then email to the boys. So that's going to be the process. I'm not going to videotape that again, it's the same process as before, but just so you know, this has to be completely empty before you do your ECU readout. And the other thing is with the marriage, it says in the instructions that the device needs to be married to the bike. That step can be done at any point. That's another email, of course, that I needed to ask that question, because it's nowhere in the instructions. That step doesn't need to be done until you do a flash onto the bike. In other words, until you transfer the new file, the new custom file, onto your bike. But it can be done at any time. You can do it as a first step, so it's out of the way. But until now, for me to do the ECU read, or get the vehicle info screen up and all that sort of stuff, wasn't required. But it will be required before you do the transfer to the bike of the new file, in other words, flash the tunes. Just thought I'd let you guys know that. So now I'm going to just plug this in, transfer the files, and this is teaching you sucking eggs, but I mean, just in case some of you old folks don't know how this is done, I'm just transferring files off here onto the computer into a folder that you create. Let's plug it in. So I've created a file called PVCX. Here are all the files that are on the computer. So once you plug this thing in, automatically, in my case automatically, it's Windows 10, File Manager pops up showing all the files that are on the device. So I'm just going to basically grab them all. So it's 18 files, and then I just drag them into so you drag and drop, and you hit the shift button, which turns the copy into move. Therefore it'll actually move those 18 files off the PVCX, bang, drop, into my folder that I created, which are called PVCX factory files. Problem for us folks in overseas land, is that every email exchange is a day lost, because when I get the email, they're already shut shop. Then I reply to the email, and it's the next day before they can read it, and then every time it goes like that. So this is now day 3 or 4, because I had to send 3 or 4 emails already just to get all the info that I require. It's rubbish. But anyway, it is what it is. So this is why this YouTube instruction is actually useful and not a waste of time, because if you look at this video first, you will see all the mistakes, or not mistakes, I didn't make any mistakes, but all the steps that weren't in the instructions, and saves you days, especially if you're overseas. So that's it. So now they're all in here, PVCX, and you look at Power Vision, completely empty, nothing on it. Okay, so this is what it looks like when you get finally the email back with the SDK, with the DJT file, which is the DJT files are the tuning files. And so you get 2 files back. They send you the original SDK that you sent, and then the improved stock file that they've created. So you just click on that, and it says save file. You plug in your PVCX, so it's already mounted as a drive, and then you go OK. Find that DJT file, wherever, put it, there it is. So you can just cut and then go to your Power Vision. It's got just the one file that you had earlier done with your ECU read, and you just go paste. So now it copies the DJT file into your Power Vision. So you should have now the DJT file and your original stock file, just two files in your Power Vision. Righto, so ready to flash the new tune file to the bike. First thing you do when you plug it in, it says all files found. That's what you want to see. So it has everything that it needs to do the flashing. So the first thing we need to do now is, I'm going to turn the bike on. I'm not sure whether that's needed or not for the pairing, but I'll do it anyway. So you have to have your fob close by, of course, for this process. Bike's turned on. Then you go to the main menu. I'm trying to do this now, looking at the camera and the device at the same time, so it's it's a little confusing. Well, you know, the music's on. So need to go to the main menu. Here's the main menu. So when you get to this main menu, you go down to Device Tools, click Enter, Device Info, click Enter, and here's Pair with Vehicles. So this is where you need to go, Pair with Vehicles. If you haven't done it earlier, you can do it at any stage, but you definitely need to do it before you try to flash the new file onto the bike. So let's do this. Lock the vehicle. Top button, yes. Device paired. So that's done. So you go back to the main menu again, and now you go to flash the tune, enter, and that's the first one is my stock tune. You don't want to do that because that's already there. So you go down to the DJT file. That's the one you want to flash, the new one. So you go yes, file blah blah blah, DJ tuner Indian Springfield, that's the one. So you hit enter. And now it's doing its thing. Probably it takes another 15 minutes, I'm guessing. So it's actually at the moment, as you can see, it says it's erasing the ECU, so it's taken off the stock ECU file. And then it's probably going to, here we go, and now it's starting to write verifying data, and here we go, it's writing ECU. I don't know how long this will take, so I'm not probably going to videotape the whole show, because it could take a while and it's boring to watch this. Interestingly enough, I would have expected some sort of percentage progress like it did with the ECU readout. With the ECU read process, it had the percentage. This one doesn't tell you how long it will take. But anyway. So I should get back to you if there's something different showing up on screen other than what you see now. Okay, so it's all done. I didn't actually take a photo of what the Power Vision said when it was done, but it just says complete. That's all it said. So the flashing went fine. I didn't time it. I think it was, I don't know, the usual 7 to 10 minutes or something like that. So it's all good. But I thought I'd give you some quick summary of the lessons learned here from the whole process now that it's done. And the couple of things you need to do is to save yourself a lot of hassle, especially if you do this from overseas, because every email exchange is a day lost. Make sure the Power Vision is empty, there's no files on it, clean it first. When you plug it in, get the ECU, get the vehicle info screen. All the details are obviously in the whole video that you've seen already, I'm just summarizing here. Get the vehicle info screen and get the STK file to the fuel motor people. So the Power Vision has to be empty. There can't be any other STK files because they don't know which one it is. So you have to have it empty. Clean the Power Vision completely empty. Get the the vehicle info screen, get the STK file, send those two back to Fuel Moto. They'll send you the DJT file, then pair the vehicle, and after you pair the vehicle, flash the tune. Really, it's that simple. And how that's done, you would have seen it the painful way, but it is actually a very simple and easy process. Once you've gone through the whole thing and discovered all the pitfalls, it's that simple. So there you go. I haven't had a chance to ride yet with it because it's pissing out there right now. So there'll be another video where I get a bit of a review of what's different from now than before. And my bike's obviously stock at the moment, but it will change a few things. So there you go. I hope this video helped someone out and save yourself a lot of time. And if you're from overseas, many days of delay. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed that. Any comments? Welcome. Cheers. Bye-bye.